Hey friends, it's Chelsea with the Half-Blood Sisters. Since the last time I made a video, two horrific things have happened and have been made very public, and so I felt like I wanted to talk about those things. Before I jump into my thoughts and opinions on the matters, I just want to say that my heart goes out to anyone who has been affected by rape. We will be talking about Rapist Brock Turner today and my feelings and thoughts about how all of that shook out. And I would also like to say that I am hurting along with all of my brothers and sisters in the LGBT communities. I mean, there aren't really words to express how horrific it is to be gunned down just for being gay. I mean, it's a sick reality that I think a lot of us don't really want to accept. There are so many people who love gays and embrace gays, who are gay, who have aspects of gay within them, and so I just really, I haven't said anything publicly about Orlando. I haven't made any comments on my Facebook or my Instagram or anything like that other than I stand with you guys. And the reason for that is because I needed time to process. I was really upset, and, gay people are huge in my life. My grandmother's gay, and I was raised not knowing that that was something to be feared or that was wrong or inappropriate in people's eyes. Obviously, being gay is not wrong or inappropriate ever. Loving someone is never wrong. And I grew up in California for a long time, in Texas, where, Austin, Texas, which is a little bit different than the rest of the state, where things just were a little bit more laid back and a little bit more relaxed. And it wasn't until I moved to Oklahoma that I really saw hate for gay people for the first time. And it's shocking. It's shocking. First of all, why do you care? And I'm asking, legitimately asking, if there's anyone out there watching this video who hates gay people, why do you care what somebody else's sexual preference is? Why does that have any bearing on your life? And it's so tricky because I am pansexual. What is pansexual, Chelsea? Well, pansexual means that you don't have a preference for boys or girls. You love someone for who they are, not what genitalia they were born with. So I've been with men, I've been with women, I've been with men and women at the same time. I've been, I've had an exclusive relationship with a woman, I've had an exclusive relationship with men, and I've never felt the heat of that experience. I was allowed to experience both men and women without judgment, and maybe people were judging me. I mean, I don't know. I don't pay attention, so that could be part of it. But for the most part, I've never been beaten up because I liked girls or because I was with a girl. I've never had someone threaten me or, spit at me or tell me how much they think what I'm doing is wrong. And so it's hard to imagine that this is a reality that people live with every day. And, I think in my situation, it just so happens that I settled with a man, my husband. And I don't think that makes me necessarily heterosexual. I think it makes me maybe heteroflexible, where I am able to love my husband, obviously, regardless. I mean, I wouldn't care. We've been together in past lives where he was a female, I was male, he was a male, I was a male, I was a female, he was a male. I mean, it's all irrelevant, and it all doesn't matter, and it all is such a petty and sad thing for someone to focus on as a reason for hate. And, you know, I say all the time that most people who hate gay people are gay or have suppressed that desire, that feeling so far down that they are literally just projecting their hatred and their inability to express their true selves onto the people who can do it freely. And, you know, I think about my grandma. She's been with her wife for 35 years, longer than I've been alive, and I think about what a trailblazer she is and how hard and how many obstacles she must have come up against for just loving somebody. And it's depressing. And, you know, you think we're making forward movement when gays are able to get married and it's becoming easier for them to adopt. But then something like this happens and you realize we really haven't made it that far at all. And there's still a lot of fucked up people. Okay, deep breath. There's still just a lot of fucked up people that don't understand love. And I hate that the majority of this judgment and hatred comes from religious communities that preach love. They preach love, they preach acceptance, they preach kindness and compassion, and yet it's like all of that just flies out of the window when somebody wants to love somebody else that they don't think is an appropriate fit or an appropriate match. And it's just not fair, and it's not right, and it's not in line with our highest good as humans. And really, why do you fucking care? Why do you care what somebody else is doing or who somebody else is loving? It doesn't make sense to me. You know, if somebody is loving someone who's abusing them, okay, care about it. Help that person. Get them away from someone who is causing pain and abuse in their life. But two people who are loving each other in a consensual way and who bring joy to one another, I mean, it just does not make sense to me why this is such a target. I mean, it's the same thing with race. I don't understand why people care about race. Not in the sense of, oh, I'm colorblind, I don't see races. That's bullshit, and that's whitewashing, and that's inappropriate. What I mean is, we are all the same on the inside. We all have a heart that beats red. We all have blood that bleeds red. We all have souls that come from the same source of connection, and literally skin color is decided on how close or far away you were born from the equator, so that you could either survive the terribly hot sun, or if you're in a place where you don't get a lot of sun, you can absorb what you need from your skin color. And so the idea that somebody's skin color makes them different or other than doesn't compute to me. The idea that somebody's sexual preferences makes them different or other than doesn't compute to me. And it's wrong. And it's something that I hope one day can be, I hope one day we look, you know, generations from now, if we still have a planet to live on, if we still have a consciousness to look back with, you know, I hope we look back and go, oh, how barbaric that someone would ever care about someone else's sexual preference or about what color they are. I mean, for God's sakes, we might be blue in the future. You know, who knows what will come out. Maybe the hottest trend will not be to dye your hair pink, but to dye your skin pink. Or to, you know, you don't know. And I'm sick of living in a world that's based in fear. You know, there are really only two leading emotions, two guiding emotions in life, and that's love. You do things out of love, or you do things out of fear. And things that come out of love are compassion and acceptance and loving those, your brothers and sisters that are, you know, on the same planet going through the same shit that you're going through. And it's like, how can you really see them as different? What do you think is different about them? What do you think that they're experiencing that is so different from your spiritual experience that they deserve to be prosecuted and beat up and killed, murdered 50 at a time? And how dare anybody use this as a platform? And I'm talking to you, Donald Trump. I hope this finds its way to your fucking existence. How dare you use this tragedy as a platform to say that you are right about terrorism? You know, first of all, how about I'm so sorry for the families who lost loved ones, who lost their sons, who lost their brothers, who lost their daughters, who lost their wives or their children or anybody that they cared about. And I just feel like it's so disgusting to see someone use such a tragedy as a platform to say that they were right all along. Nothing about this is right. Nothing about this is okay. And hate breeds more hate. So going on the defensive and going on anger is not going to solve these problems. It's not going to make our world a better, safer place. It's not going to create an existence where gay children don't have to be afraid of who they are. It's just all so much. It's hard because I've just met some of the most beautiful and caring and loving and sweet and supportive gay people, and it just seems so unfair that they would be judged not on their heart, not on their true qualities and worth of being, but literally just on who they prefer to have sex with. So insane. And, you know, I'm seeing a lot of consistencies between the struggles of gay people and the struggles that minorities and other races have been through, and the struggle of being a woman in the world and feeling protected and safe. And the problem is that we're only looking out for one sect of people. And when I say we, I don't mean me. I don't mean probably everybody watching these videos. I mean society as a whole is only looking out for one group of people, and that group of people is the privileged. And unfortunately, it's such a small sect of people that no one I know falls under that category. And it's just a scary world we live in, where you can be raped. Oh, yes, please, let's bring up Rapist Brock Turner while we're on horrendous subjects. You know, it's an awful world where you can be raped and somebody can blame you for what happened. And the person who committed that heinous crime against you, because they are privileged and because they have money and because they excel at something that society deems as important, I don't give a fuck if you're a swimmer. I don't give a fuck if you play football. I don't give a fuck if you are the best all-time sportsman in the world. None of those things matter to me if you're a rapist. Because you are a rapist first, and you are a good swimmer. You're a rapist, basically, that can kind of swim good. That's what you are. But that's not how, things happen and you think they should be black and white. Things seem so easy and so understandable. A man rapes a woman who is unconscious in an alley behind a dumpster. He should be killed, or at the very least imprisoned for as long as other people who got arrested for smoking some fucking grass that is illegal in other states, or it's all so fucking backwards. And I've been dreading making these videos because I want to talk about it, but there's so many fucked up things to consider, and obviously it's an emotional subject for me. And so what's my message? My message is, any way that you can, anywhere that you are, any time it's possible, show people love. Because there's so much hate and so much judgment and so much vile behavior in the world that all we can do is just love the people around us and love people who maybe aren't loved by society, especially the people that aren't loved by society. Show love to your homeless men and women when you see them. It takes $10 and 5 minutes of your life to change somebody's outcome and somebody's day, and be kind, be tolerant. You don't have to agree. You don't have to agree at all with people's choices, but you have to be tolerant of them. If you don't agree with being gay, don't be gay. If you don't agree with abortion, don't get an abortion. If you don't agree with being a witch, then don't be a witch. Be whatever you want to be and conduct yourself in whatever way you want, but don't push your views on other people. Don't judge other people. Don't send hatred in the direction of other people who do not think like you do. Tolerance is everything. Tolerance is the reason that America was founded. I don't get people. It's like they forget that we came over here because we were sick of intolerance towards our way of life. And so we said, deuces, we're fucking out of here. We're going to go and start our own place. And, that has its own set of problems. And, the Native Americans are another one of those groups that has been unnecessarily hated and, destroyed and dismantled and whitewashed. And, when you ask someone about, what do Native Americans believe, it's like, the first thing that comes in their head are like cowboys and Indians and fucking, Coachella Indian headdresses and just nobody remembers. And I want to get back. I want to get back to a place of love.